Spencer pulled his bag through the portal. He was still feeling quite pleased with himself. He felt his pants slipping down, so he hoisted them back up. His tail automatically assisted him, and he glanced back. It was then that he realized his bunny tail was missing. He turned and rushed toward the portal, just in time for his Portal Master 2000 to beep softly and display temporarily out of service. It always did that if he was away too long. I should have got the 3000. It had an override button to extend your time, Spencer said to himself as he slumped down onto the floor. He felt sad and worried at the same time. Where did it fall off? He then remembered his bag, and more importantly his belt. Monsters were very modest, but mostly it was too cold to go around with your butt hanging out. He untied his belt from his bag and put it back on. He took his bag over to his cupboard and emptied the contents out. "Ooh," he exclaimed. His cheese-covered poof didn't survive well at all. He brushed the small pieces and powder off the apple and grapes. "Only a few grapes got squished. Must have been when I fell," he said. He placed the fruit in a bowl from the cupboard and nibbled on the bits of poof. "Waste not, want not," he said, and put the rest of the poof in another bowl. Spencer went to the clean-up room to get ready for the day. Under the sink he kept all the things he needed to visit Mary. The only thing missing was the bunny tail. First he removed the contact lens. "This is going to take some getting used to," he said as he poked himself in the eye. "Ooh, that smarts." He rubbed his sore eye. He remembered Dr. Eyeball's office. "I don't understand why you want blue eyes. Yours are such a lovely shade of red," Dr. Eyeball said. Spencer looked around the room. Everything was a shade of red or pink. Spencer too liked the color red, but this was overkill, he thought to himself. He put the phony teeth in the container. Dr. Bite wouldn't fix his teeth, but made him a pair of dentures that fit over his own teeth. Spencer remembered his visit. All the offices he visited were colorful and cheerful. They had floors and fancy doors, not like his own dreary cave. He put his horn cap on. Horns are important to monsters. He remembered going to Dr. Dread. When he asked the doctor to remove them, he was reluctant. The doctor outright refused to remove his tail. "Now you're going too far. Does your Uncle Max know about this?" he had asked. "Oh, yes," Spencer lied. "Well, I don't like doing this, but I have seen some pretty strange trends come and go over the last 1,000 years. Monsters should not pay so much attention to humankind," Dr. Dread mused. "Tell you what I'll do. I'll remove them, but make you a horn cap so you won't look so out of place in Mong." He handed Spencer the skull cap. "As far as your tail goes, I recommend you see Costumes by Lydia," he said, as he wrote a prescription and handed it to him. "Okay," Spencer responded excitedly. "You do know they will keep growing back," the doctor said to Spencer. Spencer nodded and hoped that it would take a long time. He put the skull cap on and adjusted it. "You'd never know the difference," Spencer beamed. "Dr. Dread said, 'Say hello to your Uncle Max.' I hardly ever see him any more. He's so busy with Elder Council business." "Will do," Spencer said, and he turned and left. He stood up to the sink and turned the water on to wash up. Spencer remembered walking back to his place from the clinic district. The corridors were clean and well lit. "One day I will live in a place like this," he thought to himself. The farther away he traveled from the clinic district, the less spectacular the corridors became. His crossroad took him away from the great hall and past the corridor to detention. Spencer looked in the mirror and started to giggle. "Looks like I missed a few spots," he said, and picked up the cloth and started to wash his face. "Should keep my mind on what I'm doing and not daydream so much," he said. Daydreaming helped Spencer get through jobs that did not interest him, especially cleaning. Uncle Max said, "If you don't keep it tidy, I'll have to send Molly over to clean up." Molly McGraw was their housekeeper, and Spencer certainly didn't want her over here throwing out all his stuff. He remembered the first day Uncle Max took him to his new home. Uncle Max had made him feel so important getting his own place. He agreed right away. It was a long walk pulling his belongings on a wheelboard. The first time he passed the corridor to detention, Spencer asked, "What is detention?" Uncle Max responded, "You don't want to go there." The corridor looked so spooky, Spencer agreed. "No, I don't want to go there." Spencer asked, "Are we there yet?" Uncle Max called over his shoulder, "Soon." When they first arrived at the door to his new place, Spencer all of a sudden doubted whether he wanted to live by himself. "Not bad. Better than my first place." Uncle Max sniffed and looked away. Spencer looked at his uncle with doubt. Uncle Max always sniffed when he lied. Uncle Max showed him how to use his portal and gave him a sheet of instructions. He handed him a small card and said, "If you need something, use this card, but only use it wisely." He then left the young monster on his own. He snapped himself out of his daydreaming and went to make a fire. He looked at the clock, and he had enough time for a cup of tea. He used his stocking to hold the hot handle of his kettle and poured the boiling water into his cup. He sat cross-legged on the bench and sipped on his tea, and from a secret drawer in his table he pulled out a small piece of red crayon and popped it into his mouth. "Mmm," he said as he munched on it. Uncle Max said they weren't good for him, but monsters have this strange ability to digest almost everything, as long as it was not too much. Spencer never let red crayons collect long enough for there to be too many at a time. He finished his tea and prepared himself for Barter Day in the Great Hall. But that's another story.